Do you perform really well in local and maybe even regional events, but then when you get to the higher level, like nationals, you tend to underperform and feel intimidated by the competition? Hi, I'm Dr. Patrick Cohn with Peak Performance Sports and peaksports.com. In this video, I'm going to explain to you why athletes become intimidated when they get to a higher level of competition. You're watching Sessions with Doc, unrehearsed and unscripted answers to your mental game questions. Here's the question that I received from Teresa. Teresa's son happens to race motocross, and she said, my son just turned 11. He's currently on YZ85. He rides to his ability in practice and also at local races, but he folds at the national level and doesn't ride anywhere near his ability that he shows at the local level. He gives up on the start, he lets everyone go and then starts to race. How can I find a way to get him to race and not worry about who he's racing? He deserves to win, but he has this mental block that keeps him from winning. It's a great question, Teresa, and once again, it's a question that we receive a lot at peaksports.com. The real issue is when he goes and he races at a higher level, all of a sudden, everybody's good. So when you go from a local or even a regional and then you progress to that national level, you know it's filtered out a lot of other racers or a lot of other competitors, and now he has to really up his game. But it's really a question about intimidation. And I've worked with a lot of motocrossers on this particular issue because when they go to a race, they tend to, what I call, place themselves on the start line. They say, well, look at Johnny, he's really fast, or look at Joe, he's really quick. Maybe I'm good for a top 5 here, but I'm not good for maybe a top 2 or a win. So they tend to place themselves on the start line, which isn't effective. But it ultimately says these racers, they tend to place others on a pedestal above them and feel like they're inferior and not as good. So one of the reasons why your racer, Teresa, is stopping at the start line, letting everybody go, because he feels intimidated by the skill level of those around him. So what does he need to do? What he really needs to do is thinking about racing the track one section at a time. Sounds simple, right? Very hard to do for young racers, especially when they're paying attention to who's around them or who's lined up to them on the start line. Because this intimidation, he's focusing on the other skills and the talents of others around him. What he needs to do is focus on his abilities, his talents, his skills, and really own his line on the start line. So certainly, he's racing against a lot of other fast racers, but that can't be his plan to protect against all these other fast racers. He's got to go out there and focus on his lines, owning his line on the start, being aggressive, and his own abilities. When racers or athletes, they focus too much on the competition and what the competition has, they tend to feel more intimidated. And that's not the way you want them to go. You want them to embrace their own abilities and their own talents and focus on racing the track instead of, I have to compete against Joe again. Hey, if you have a mental game question, please check out peaksports.com and go to Contact Us and submit your mental game question for review. We read them all and we will respond to your question. We can't promise that we'll do a video or an audio podcast on your particular question. You've been watching Sessions with Doc, unrehearsed and unscripted answers to your mental game questions. Please subscribe to my videos if you haven't done so we can notify you, or you'll get notified by YouTube when we post new answers to mental game questions. In addition, check out the next video we've suggested for you. It should be right here on your right. Thanks.